Good morning, children. Welcome you all for a new session of Class 10 First Language English. Children, hope all of you are safe and healthy. And I know that you have been following all the classes which has been telecasted in DD1 Chandana. And I also hope that you are following it and practicing it. So, before we begin, I just want to start with one quote, that is, preparation goes before success. Even in the dictionary, it is the same. So, to be a successful person, you need to be prepared for everything. If you prepare well, you can perform well in your examination, which will lead to success. So, for everything, you need to plan, prepare to achieve any success in life. So, to begin with, today we will be starting a new prose, that is, Eyes Are Not Here by Ruskin Bond. Children, it's a beautiful prose written by Ruskin Bond. So, before we get into the prose, let us have some pre-reading activity. Children, generally we notice the physically challenged leading a normal life. Do the physically challenged accept their condition with resignation? You saw how challenging even physically handicapped or physically challenged people are. They have never given up. They take everything so sportively and they are excelling in sports. So, when we are perfectly okay in all aspects, what is stopping us from performing, children? Let us not be lazy. Let us accept the situation and press on. Only that will lead to zenith, a successful life. So, the prose is written by Ruskin Bond. Let's know about the author. Ruskin Bond is an Indian author of British descent. He was born on 19th May 1934 at Kasauli. He lives with his adopted family in Landore, Mussoorie, India. He is one of the finest storytellers in English in India. He has written several novels, short stories and books for children. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. The Room on the Roof, written when he was only 17 years old, and won the John Lively Rice Memorial Prize in 1957. Many of his stories are based on Mussoorie at the foothills of Himalayas, where he lives. The movies and TV shows of Ruskin Bond are The Blue Umbrella, Sat Khoon Maaf, The Black Cat, Junoon, and so on. He was awarded Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan for his works. After knowing about the author, who is still living at the foothills of Mussoorie, now we will get into glossary. Children, can you see this word? Startled means surprised. Annie was startled to receive a gift from her mom. You will be surprised seeing something, right? So, startled means surprised. Hereafter, you will use this word also. Can you see this? Formidable, causing fear. Can you see this picture, children? Water in the house. The present water floods are formidable in everyone's life. It's causing fear. The present floods, the present situation is causing fear. Venture, to say or do something which involves risk. Abhishek ventured to climb the mountain to break a record. Gallant, brave. Children, when we are saying these words, I expect you to repeat after me. Gallant, brave. Indian soldiers are so gallant who are protecting our country day and night. Is it not, children? They are so brave. They are not worried about the hot sun, the shivering weather, rains, nothing. They are just protecting us. Indian soldiers are so gallant who are protecting our country day and night. Linger, stay for a while. Say, linger, stay for a while. The sight of the beach where Nisha played is still lingering in her mind. The sight of the beach where Nisha played is still lingering in her mind. Reverie, daydream. Reverie, daydream. Samantha was in reverie the whole day. Even we love to daydream sometimes, right? Yes, all of us dream about so many things sitting in one place. That is called reverie. Now, let's analyze the prose. The eyes are not here. In the beginning, the narrator was alone in the compartment and he was traveling to Rohana. Then a girl got in. The girl's parents probably came along to show her off, who seemed very anxious about her comfort, and the woman gave the girl detailed instructions. So now you can imagine a train compartment where the traveler or the narrator was traveling alone to Rohana. Then a girl enters the compartment. Probably her parents came to send her, who seemed very anxious about her comfort. So even your parents will take uttermost care when you are traveling alone. So they gave the detailed instructions what she should do. As to where to keep her things, when not to lean out of a window, and how to avoid speaking to strangers. So where to keep your things, you should take care of your things when you are traveling, and not to lean out of a window, which is really dangerous when traveling in bus also, or your car, or whatever it is. Parents or elders will give instructions to the children not to put their hand out of the window, right? And how to avoid speaking to strangers. That is the first and foremost instruction given by all the parents, that not to talk to strangers. So all these instructions were given to that girl. As the narrator was totally blind at that time, his eyes sensitive only to light and darkness. So he was unable to tell the looks of the girl, but he knew she wore slippers from the way they slapped against her heels. Amidst all this, he liked the sound of her voice. So now I think by now you must have understood that the narrator is totally blind and his eyes are sensitive only to the light and the darkness. Means he was not born blind. Now, as the narrator was totally blind at that time, so now he has become blind. But he was with this blindness, because he had lost his vision, he was not able to describe how the girl looks. But he can make out that she was wearing the slipper because it slapped against her heels. In Kannada, we call it as himmidi. So, heels. So, with all this, he could still hear her voice, because all of a sudden, he speaks. And she is shocked to know that somebody else is there in the compartment. She says that I didn't notice you. I didn't know that you are here. So the narrator prevented her from discovering that he was blind, he thought, and kept himself to his seat. The girl said that she would be getting down at Saharanpur and her aunt would meet her there. So he thought, let her not discover that he is not able to see, he has lost his vision or he is blind. So that's why he kept himself to his seat. But she said that she will get down at Saharanpur, where her aunt will come to fetch her or to meet her. So he thought he would not be too familiar. The girl asked him where he was going. He replied that he was going to Dehra and then to Mussoorie. The girl was excited and told him that he is too lucky to go to Mussoorie. She loves those hills, especially in October. So, because when he came to know that his aunt is coming, he said, let me not be too familiar with the girl. And that girl herself asked him where he was going. He said that he is going to Dehra, then to Mussoorie. Children, if you happen to just see few pictures of Mussoorie, it's just awesome. And if you, I think all of you are into gadgets now, just try to see the video of Mussoorie, Dehra and all those places. It is wonderful. The nature is so beautiful there. So that's why she says that he is so lucky to go to Mussoorie, especially in the month of October. It would be more beautiful. So the narrator recalled his memory that the hills are covered with wild dahlias, the sun is delicious, and at night you can sit in front of the log fire and listen to some music. How beautiful. Is it not, children? Just sitting among the nature, enjoying the nature, and especially in the night time sitting in the front of a log fire and listening to some music. Children, music has got that strength which can cure anything, depression as well as disease. Now let's move on. While the speaker was describing all this, she remained silent. So he wondered if his words had touched her or whether she thought him a romantic fool. So when he was talking or describing about the scene of Mussoorie, she remained silent. Then he thought, why this girl is silent? Maybe in that way he must have explained where his description must have touched her, or she must have thought that he is a romantic fool. He also thought whether she noticed that he was blind. But when she asked him to look out of the window, he moved easily along the berth and felt for the window ledge. For a moment, he thought whether she noticed that he is a blind. But no, she asked him, can you see out of the window? Then he was a bit ease. Then he moved to the window ledge. The windows was open, so he faced window, pretending of studying the landscape. He heard the panting of the engine, the rumble of the wheels, and in his mind's eye, he could see the telegraph post flashing by. So this is the description of the landscape. Okay, even though he is blind, he was just pretending to study the landscape where he could hear the panting of the engine, rumble of the wheel, and because of that he could also feel that the telegraph post flashing by. Then he ventured whether she noticed that the trees seemed to be moving while they seemed to be standing still. The girl said that it always happens while travelling. Then she asked him that is he able to see any animals, and hardly any animals left in the forest near Dehra. Children, we need to protect our forests. All the animals have been killed and we are cutting down the forest just to build buildings. So that is what she meant here. Hardly any animals are found. He says, can you just make out that when the train is moving, we feel that we are still and all the trees and whatever we see outside the train seems to be moving. She says it always happens. Even you must have felt, right? You are sitting there and all the trees or animals, whatever is there, that has been moving. After seated silently for a while, the speaker told the girl that she has an interesting face, becoming a bit daring, and it was a safe remark too. So, after sitting for some time, he said that the girl has got an interesting face. Few girls can resist flattery. She laughed pleasantly, a clear, ringing laugh. So, when somebody praises, girls feel nice. Not only girls, everybody. We need appreciation and praises, right? So, few girls can resist flattery. The girl's reply was so beautiful. She told that it's nice to be told that she has an interesting face, because she's tired of people telling her that she has a pretty face. She said, it's nice to hear that you are telling me I have an interesting face, because I'm tired of hearing everybody saying that I have a pretty face. This is a different comment from somebody. So he commented, well, an interesting face can also be pretty. So she said that he is very gallant young man, and asked him why was he so serious. By then he said that they will reach at her station, so she too felt it was short journey but a pleasant one. So with all courage, the narrator said, an interesting face can also be pretty. So she said that he is a very gallant young man. What is the meaning of gallant, children? We learnt in the beginning, gallant, brave. Good. So she said that you are too brave, commenting on a girl. Anyway, by then they had reached where the girl was supposed to get down. She felt it's a very short journey but a pleasant one, because we tend to get bored if we sit for a long time in the train, right? Okay. But the speaker was ready to sit there for almost any length of time just to listen to her talking. Sometimes we enjoy few people's company, is it not? So even the speaker felt that he was ready to sit for any length of time just to listen to her talking. For the speaker, her voice had sparkle of a mountain stream. As soon as she left the train, she would forget the brief encounter, but it would stay with him for the rest of the journey and for some time after. So for the speaker, her voice was a sparkle of the mountain stream. Stream, you know, no children? River, stream. So sparkle of the mountain stream. And he thought she will just forget this brief encounter where she met a stranger and she spoke, but this will stay in his mind still further, because even sometime after, throughout his journey, even after some time after, okay, because he enjoyed her company. The girl began to collect her things and set to get down. The narrator wondered if she wore her hair in a bun, or it was plaited, or it hung loose over her shoulders, or if it was cut very short. Now the narrator, since he is blind, he just want to know how she had made her hair, whether it was in a bun or plaited, or it was hung loose over her shoulder, or very short hair. Okay, goodbye, said the girl. She was standing very close to him, so close that the perfume from her hair was tantalizing. He wanted to raise his hand to touch her hair, but she moved away and only the perfume still lingered where she had stood. So she was set to go out of the train and she was standing very close to him. So the perfume was, just tantalizing. So he wanted to raise his hand and touch her hair, but she moved away, but the perfume of her hair was still lingered there means which stayed there, lingered. We learnt that in the glossary. Yes. You may break, you may shatter the vase if you will, but the scent of the roses will linger there still. So beautifully written, this, children. You may break the vase. When you break the vase, the flowers will just scatter, but the scent of rose will still linger there. This is the presence or friendship with the good people means this. You will learn so much, you will love to be in their presence, or whatever the good thoughts they have shared will be lingering. So even though the good people, they don't stay with you, they are not with you anymore, they die, but the words of them, the presence which made you comfort will still linger in your mind forever. The girl got down and a new passenger got in. The speaker returned to his berth. The guard blew his whistle and they moved off. Once again, the speaker had a game to play with a new fellow traveler. The train gathered the speed. So the girl got down from the train, a new passenger came. So now again, the narrator should pretend that he is not blind. The new passenger broke into the speaker's reverie, saying that the speaker must be disappointed because he is not so attractive as a travelling companion as the one who just left. How beautiful, children. Now the passenger, when the speaker was quiet, the passenger spoke, saying that he must be disappointed because he is not so attractive as the companion who just left, got down from the train. So the speaker was inquisitive to know whether the girl's hair was long or short. The new passenger said that he never remembered that, but it was her eyes he noticed. She had beautiful eyes, but they were of no use to her. She was completely blind. And didn't the speaker notice it? Children, how beautifully written. You know, whenever I come to this paragraph in the classroom, I too feel, very much touched, because the passenger says he did not notice her hair, but he still remembers her eyes. It was so beautiful, but it was for no use for her, since she was completely blind. And the co-passenger is asking the speaker that didn't he notice that she is blind. How sad, no, children? But both of them pretended that both of them are able to see and they are not blind. Children, I think you understood the passage which was read by me and we analyzed it. Children, now you have to recall all the glossary what you learnt, and I have read the prose and we analyzed the prose. We have learnt modal verbs. Now I will give you home assignment. Recall everything, write. Please make sure that you show it to your teacher and get it evaluated. Okay? Now, read this question, children. Why did the narrator feel that he would never be able to discover something about the girl's looks? What did the narrator infer when the girl was startled by his voice? How could the narrator, being blind, describe Masuri? With what intention did the narrator remark that the girl had an interesting face? Read the following extract carefully and then answer the questions given below. You may break, you may shatter the verse if you will, but the scent of the roses will linger there still. What is the figure of speech used in the passage above? What is the verse compared to? What does the shattering of the vase refers to? What does the scent of the roses refer to? Complete the following sentence with the most appropriate alternative. So, you have to choose the correct alternative from A to D. A besides, B even though, C in spite of, D having. Do you enjoy dash cricket? So, the options are A to play, B to playing, C for playing, D playing. So, let us see the correct answers. In spite of our many faults, our parents love us. Do you enjoy playing cricket? Okay, now we are really looking forward dash you again. Options are A to seeing, to see, and seeing. Fourth one, the balloon dash when the child stepped on it. Option A burst, B bursted, C has bursted, D had bursted. So, let us see what are the answers. We are really looking forward to see you again. The balloon bursted when the child stepped on it. I think you understood everything, children. Still, there are so many fill in the blanks given in the textbook. Please go through and fill it up and show it to your teacher. Thank you so much for everything, children.
Anudina